Hi everyone, welcome to the tutorial on painted backgrounds using foam stamps. These are handmade foam stamps. There's a tutorial on how to make these in the website in the tutorial section. You're going to need acrylic paint, and I have various colors here. This is just cheap acrylic paint. You're going to need a brayer and some makeup sponges and a paint palette. And let's get started. You're going to need regular computer paper is what I'm using. You can use cardstock, but I like using computer paper because it's easier to collage with later if it's thinner. So I'm just putting dots right now all over my paper, and I'm using cool colors right now. I'm going to use the brayer to spread these out. You can use a credit card, a brayer, a paintbrush, anything you have. But I like using the brayer. I like the look that I get. And you can see I got a lot of paint on there, but that's okay. I like a lot of paint. And usually it turns out pretty good, so I don't mind that much paint on there. And the paint's not very expensive, so if I waste a little bit of it, that's okay. Alright, so now we're going to take our foam stamp and we're going to put some paint on it. And I'm using a flat paintbrush to put paint on the stamp. See, and I've got like a light pink color. I'm going over the stamp right now, just the foam part. And you don't need a lot of paint for the stamp. And you just put it on, and you can use your brayer like I'm doing here, or you can press it down with your hands. I find that both works very well, both ways. If you want less of a pattern, then you press it down with your hands. If you want it to be more exact, you use the brayer. But here I'm pressing it down with my hands, and I had more paint on it that time, so it did a little bit better. But you can see my handmade stamps, I've used them a lot. There's paint all over them. I don't even clean them off. I just keep going. And now I'm using a light yellow. And I'm stamping on it, and you can see the back of the stamp is cardboard. And like I said, that tutorial, if you don't know how to make them, that tutorial is in the tutorial section. And I'm going to be doing one of these videos every week on background techniques and things like that for art journaling. I am going to have a tutorial, a workshop actually, on making some magnets that you'll need. This tutorial, you'll need this to figure out how to make your background papers for the workshop. So if you watch this and you're waiting on the workshop, that'll be out probably by next week. And it'll be very affordable. Now I'm just stamping with red on here, and I love homemade stamps. I like the thickness of them. I like how you don't get an even coat whenever you're using acrylic paint. And I've tried using my regular stamps with acrylic paint, and I always get the paint stuck in the stamps, and then I mess up my stamps. So this is another way for me to be able to stamp on my paper and get patterns without messing up my stamps. And these are actually really simple to make. And I'll probably have another video on how to make more different designs. I've been thinking about how I can make different designs than what I have already. And I'll give you guys some ideas on the next video. Probably next week when I have the art journal background video. Okay, I'm switching papers now. And this is another blank piece of paper. I'm putting warmer colors this time. Got orange and red and a little bit of yellow. And some light pink, and I have a lot of paint on this time, so you can kind of see it when I start to roll it out how much paint is it's getting everywhere, but it makes a nice cool marbly effect, and I really like that. So it makes very interesting backgrounds. Now I'm cleaning off my brayer, so I always forget to clean off my brayer, and then I get paint stuck on it, and I wind up having to take an hour to clean it off later after there's like 4 or 5 coats of paint coated on it. So now I have my round circle foam stamp that I made, and I'm painting with a light green on it. And I'm just stamping it down. Actually, this is a yellow, not a light green. I'm sorry. I'm colorblind today. And see, the circles don't come out even. They came out pretty even on that one, but they don't come out even every time. And I like that. I like the messiness of it. It makes it interesting. It's not just like you're drawing circles on there. Every circle is different. And just the way the paint takes it is different. So you can see I'm almost done. I'm doing this on the whole paper. The circles on the whole paper. And right there. And there. And see, I didn't even put more paint on that time because I wanted kind of like a shadow effect. Alright. So now I'm going to get my other stamp, and this one's the square stamp. And I'm going to use some more paint and paint on it. And this is a light blue paint. I think it's called Key West from Apple Barrel. And this is one of my favorite colors. I really like the color turquoise, but this is my, I guess, turquoise and then pink, and then this would be my third favorite color because it's very, very light blue, but it's not baby blue. And it's really a nice color. See, now these are going to be collage papers. So I don't have to paint the same thing, or I don't have to stamp the same design all over the paper. I can stamp different designs like I'm doing with my other circle stamp right here. And this I had just a mixed color of blues. I had some extra green and some extra blue on the paint palette, so I just went ahead and used those. And because green and blue don't make mud, then when they mix together, it was okay to use those. Okay, so now this is the last one I'm going to do for you. And this is where I cleaned off my brayer. That's what that orange is, but that's okay. It'll just add to the effect of the layers of the background. And I've got some pink and some purple and some Key West color, the blue again. Excuse me. And I'm rolling it with my brayer, and I've got a lot of paint on there again. This is almost like the technique you use with a jelly printing plate. But I don't like jelly printing plates that much. I use mine sometimes, but I tend to get the look that I'm after more whenever I use the actual brayer on the paper, directly on the paper. And see, this is a really nice flower stamp that I made, and I really like this one. So I'm using a light blue, even though there's already light blue in the background, because I'm going to use another color over it. And I want the light blue to be kind of like shadowy flowers. So they're more into the background. See, now I'm stamping yellow over it, so the yellow will stand out more than the blue flowers. And I'm sorry if you guys can't see that, the way I'm putting the paint on the stamp. And I just bumped the camera, of course, which I do a lot because I'm left-handed and I have it on the right side most of the time. I try to remember to put it on the right side, but sometimes I bump it because I'm trying to do too much, and I have this tiny little tripod. And right now I'm stamping with one of the circles. I'm just putting paint and stamping around with one circle. And the good thing about those stamps is they bend really easy. So you can bend it to get the look you're after. And if you only want to use part of it, then you can bend part of it and only use that part. And this is the last stamp I'm using, and I'm just putting like a darker blue on it and stamping over the top just to give it some added texture. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my tutorial. This is the finished papers. We have this one and this one. I hope you really enjoyed it. There's some other ones that I've done. I will see you next time. Have a great day.